Today we're going to talk about Independence Day and why it's okay to doubt. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from a couple devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste, and we are so glad that you hit play today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell symbol if you're liking what you're seeing, because we do a lot of stuff, and if you don't hit that bell symbol, you're not going to get notified. Yesterday was the 4th of July, an American holiday about our independence from the British colonies.
We're filming it on the 4th of July, that's why you might hear popping.
Yeah, we're actually filming it on the 4th of July, so if you hear random noises or dogs barking, the dogs don't like the fireworks. In the movie Independence Day, aliens are attacking Earth, and it is up to Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum to defend the Earth against these aliens, who intend to annihilate us. There's one scene where Jeff Goldblum's character, David, has this moment. He can't figure out how they're going to defeat the aliens. They have this shield, but they just can't do it. He's so frustrated. He is so frustrated, he's throwing things around and tearing things up. And his dad, played by Jude Hirsch, comes in and goes, "What are you doing?" And Jeff Goldblum's character goes, "I'm making a mess." He goes, "I can see that." He sits him down and he looks at him and he goes, "Everyone has doubts. I haven't talked to God since your mother died." You can see the look of surprise on David's face. He thinks that his dad has never doubted God, has never had an issue with his faith. But we see that this person who is so strong in his belief hasn't talked to God because he wants to know why his wife is no longer with him. It is natural for us to doubt things. God has created humans to be inquisitive. He has created us to go, why does that work? It's part of our DNA. It's part of our makeup to go, we want to understand. And then if we don't, to doubt things. And it is completely okay to have doubt as long as you take the appropriate steps to figure out what it is that you need to figure out. In Mark chapter 9, we see a story of a man who is bringing his son to Jesus to have a demon released from him. His son is having epileptic type fits that leaves him mute, and where it throws him into the ground, whether the ground is fire, water, or dirt, it just throws him down in fits. You can see how this would cause a parent to have doubts. You can see how this would cause a parent to be disturbed and desperate for an answer as to what's going on and how do I help. In Mark chapter 9, verses 22-ish to 23, "But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help. And Jesus said to him, 'If you can, all things are possible for those who believe.' Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, 'I believe, help my unbelief.'" The man was asking for help with his unbelief. He wanted to believe that Jesus could do this, but he had hit a point where he was just so tired of people not being able to help. This is what's key when we do have doubts. When we have those moments where we just don't know what's up and what's down. We have to go, "God, help my unbelief." We pray to God, and then we need to call on people to help us. We need to find those that we trust and bring them in, let them know the situation. Because without community, like Dallas talked about last week, then how can we expect to have answers? And whatever you do, don't push your doubts to the side. Don't be ashamed of them. Because if you do that, if you push them to the side, they're going to stay hidden and in the corner of your mind, and they're going to grow until they are so big that you can't believe in anything anymore. And nobody wants that. God will show you the answers that you need. And if He doesn't, He will give you the ability to accept that there are some things that we just don't understand on this side of things. There are some things that we'll only understand when we are in heaven. before we get to the question of the week, we have a super special announcement. We have two, count them, two brand new devoted Patreon geeks, and we're going to shout out their names. Now Dallas is off screen, but he's going to shout too. So, there you go. He shouted. Okay, so the first of our two awesome brand new devoted Patreon geeks is, we ready for it? Mike Alderman! Thank you, Mike, so much. We appreciate you and that you support us. We love it. So, also, we need to shout out another devoted Patreon geek, because he's just one geek. Just one. And that is our good friend, Eric Willson!
Tin Raven!
Also known as Tin Raven. And to be honest, when we looked at it, we're like, Eric Willson, why does that name sound familiar? And we looked it up, and we're like, oh, it's Tin Raven! We had a moment, Eric, we're sorry.
We forgot you have a name.
We forgot you had a real name. And that we knew your real name. Thank you, gentlemen. We so appreciate your support and all the other devoted Patreon support. You two specifically should be getting a video in your email box shortly. And something to look forward to, if you haven't gotten it already. Okay, and it is now time for the question of the week!
The week!
Question of the week is, what traditions do you have for the 4th of July? For us, we try to watch Independence Day. It doesn't happen every year, but we either watch it or talk about it, or listen to a old podcast about it, which I might have done recently. Hashtag Retro Rewind Podcast, old school.
Link in the description!
There will be a link in the description. It was quite interesting. So, and we like to grill food, but we like to grill food a lot, so that's not just a 4th of July thing. Don't forget to check out our website, our Twitch, our Instagram, our Twitter, all the stuffs. We have new things happening on all platforms. All the time. Feels like all the time anyway. All that being said, stay devoted.
Peace and love!